Gretchen Treu. I am one of the co-owners of A Room of One's Own, and I've been working at Room since 2007, and I worked there for close to 10 years before Wes and I got together and managed to buy the store from the previous owners. I've always been a book kid. When I turned 14, the local library was like, okay, you're hired now, the minute I was legal. So I worked at the library all through high school, and then when I went to college, I went to UW-Madison. I grew up in Mount Horeb, which is fairly close by. When I went to UW, I missed being around books on that kind of day-to-day level, and I missed the kinds of interactions with not just books, but like the people who read. So I started volunteering at Rainbow Bookstore Co-op, and I also started hanging out at the coffee shop that was inside A Room of One's Own back then, back when we were on Johnson Street in the store's second location. I kind of periodically tried to think of different things that I should do with my life because being a bookseller didn't seem like it was going to pay rent for very long. And I was involved in like the local feminist science fiction convention, which is called WisCon, and I met an author there. His name's Pat Rothfuss, and he kind of went big. And he helped Wes and I buy the bookstore. He helped fund it. So he's a silent partner now and pretty much helped the two of us who were already working for the store and already knew all the ins and outs of everything we do at the bookstore make things happen. You know, 2019 turned into 2020, and in March we closed for the pandemic, and we didn't open again until October 2021.
Since winter, Anna Hansen shows us it has finally opened its doors.
A triumphant return for a beloved local business.
It's exciting, it's invigorating.
Had people lining Atwood Avenue today in anticipation. A Room of One's Own bookstore opened the doors on its new location at noon, and despite only announcing the reopening last night, a crowd of book lovers waited on the sidewalk to get in.
We were online only for that time. A lot of that was time spent with just me or just Wes in the bookstore trying to handle all of our different orders, web orders and stuff. We were blessed with having a really strong community. A lot of people really supported us during that time and kept ordering books from us, and that really helped keep us going. During that time, we also learned from our landlord at the time. We were on Gorham Street off of State Street downtown. They were selling that block. So for the second time in about 11 years, the store was being kicked out of a location because the whole block was being raised to do a new high-rise. So we had previously been on Johnson Street where that had happened with the Ovations building, and then we got kicked out for the one that went up on Gorham. So during that time we were like, oh no, what are we gonna do? We tried to find some place downtown, and there was nothing that was even remotely the right size or price range, and even if there was, it was likely to have the same issues, you know, so we were tired of that. A friend got us in touch with the people who owned the current building we're in, and they were local business owners too. Ian from Ian's Pizza, Susan, who is a realtor with Solidarity Realty and also is an investor owner in Batch Bakehouse, and they are really awesome, wonderful people, and they worked with us to sell us a portion of the building because we really wanted to have more security in our next space. So we are hopefully in our forever home now. It was a lot of work. To their credit, our old landlords were like, yeah, take whatever you want. So we kind of took fixtures, we took all the bookshelves, we took a lot of stuff and had to kind of really creatively figure out like what bookshelves could go where and how much we were gonna have to change our stock, because the space is actually about 2/3 the size of our old space. So there is less shelf space, but it feels bigger for some reason. I'm not sure if it's just the airy, big, beautiful ceiling or what's going on with that, but I think we made a lot of really good choices in terms of like our location is very great. It's a very liberal neighborhood. A lot of the people who shopped with us downtown because they work there live over here, and so now people can bring their kids in, and it's got more of a neighborhood bookstore vibe. We get a lot less kind of off the street walk-in traffic here, but most of that traffic downtown wasn't really converting into big sales anyway. It was really our kind of dedicated audience and people who knew what we were about and who wanted to support a bookstore that really tried to live by its mission. So that's been wonderful. We get a lot of kind of destination traffic here.
How have you, as a queer bookstore, been coping with recent oppressive power moves from the federal and state government?
It's been really hard. So far, we haven't been directly hit. We're not, a federal government agency of any kind. But a lot of, our sales are very down. A lot of people are scared. We're probably heading into a recession, and that's really hard for anyone who sells anything that isn't super essential. So I am worried. I'm really worried. And my family and my staff are all kind of worried about whether it's safe to stay here, and where to go if it isn't, and which makes me so sad because I love Madison and I love Wisconsin, despite all its many faults. And the idea of having to abandon the space that has loved us and that we love so much breaks my heart. And also, I don't know if you knew this, but a bookstore is really hard to move. So there's a lot of logistical rootedness in this community, as well as sort of the emotional component.